People, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jose Angel, and in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at my game room in 2025. If you guys have any comments, I'll be interested in what you guys think, so leave any suggestions in the comment section down below. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Now to this wall over here, we have my PC setup. Although it's not the latest and greatest, it gets the job done. It is powered by my Asus G20 CB gaming desktop. This desktop has a i7 6700 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, over 2 terabytes of storage space, and a GTX 1080 graphics card that I upgraded a couple of months later. One of the things that I really love about this computer is its design. I feel like it takes a page out of a Star Wars novel with this Sith holocron looking design, and it definitely looks like a console, so I feel like that's what makes it stand out. For the display, I use a 34-inch Asus monitor that I got not too long ago, and while it has been working great, it for whatever reason has issues connecting to my PS5. I get no signal whatsoever on the monitor, so that's something that later down the line I'll have to check out. In addition, I have these pair of cheap speakers attached to the computer, which I'm looking to upgrade sometime in the near future. For my keyboard, last year I bought a wired Keytron V3 Knob Edition. It is a 75% keyboard that sounds and feels terrific to use. I feel like it fits the theme of my setup really well, and the unique knob comes in handy when you least expect it. Alongside the keyboard, I have a pretty sick red gaming mouse that I unfortunately don't remember the name of. However, I can tell you that it has worked really well for casual browsing and somewhat hardcore gaming. But sincerely, keyboard and mouse is not my favorite way to play games. I prefer a controller, so that's why we have that red PS5 controller on the side with the Razer charging station. Moving on, we have something I recently bought to add quality to my YouTube videos, and that's the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. I'm currently recording in it now, and after a couple of video reviews and comparisons on YouTube, I opted this would be the best mic for my setup. It cost me $100 with this mount, so I really can't complain. I'm still getting used to using it, so I sometimes put it in awkward, out of place positions. So just messing around with it till I get the hang of it, especially while recording, but also while in the future live streaming. In the wall, I have Star Wars pops I've been collecting over the years, and I feel like this placement in the room gives them a unique showing. I feel like they definitely stand out. Now, I forgot to mention this desk I bought off of Amazon actually rises up so you can stand and still look at your screen through these buttons here. And attached to it, I have these Razer Nari Ultimate wireless headphones. So here's an example of the rising desk, and I did the cable management neatly enough on the bottom of it so I can do this at any time, and it's very convenient when you're tired of sitting down. So that's that part of the PC setup. The next thing I want to focus on is over here to my left hand side, the Arcade 1UP Joga Flame Edition. Now I got this a couple of months ago, and I went ahead and put custom boards in it so I can connect it to a Steam Deck, which is here above the system itself. And what that does is now I can connect any kind of arcade game or any games that the Steam Deck could play. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't used the Arcade 1UP as much as I anticipated I would, but it was such a passion project of mine to put this together to be able to play any arcade game that I feel like all the time invested into it was worth it. Here you see some gameplay on the screen, and even if I don't have enough time to play the games, it's always nice to look at the arcade 1-up and see the gameplay loop of all the video games. Now moving on to the right hand side of the room is one of two gaming shelves that I have. This one specifically has my PlayStation collection that includes everything from PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and so on. Now if you notice here, I have a controller to the left hand side and a game to the right hand side on display. This is actually the game that I'm currently playing in that console, so I know which game is at that console at all times. Right now I don't have any in my PlayStation 2, so that's why you kind of see it empty here. Also, the controller just comes in handy, that way you can just grab it from the shelf and you have a selection of games there to pick from. Looking at these, you might have noticed that there's not a large selection of PlayStation 1 games, and I gotta admit that's one system that I'm way behind on. So in the future, that's a system I really want to collect video games for. So stick around the channel for that and let me know what you guys think of these shelves and if you like the way that I've organized them. Now that we're done with the gaming setup, let's focus on what I consider should be one, if not the top priority in anyone's game room, and that's the television. In my game room, I opted to buy the LG CX in 2001, and I haven't looked back since. This TV really made me appreciate high refresh rates in games, but most importantly, makes you realize that once you get used to OLED, it's hard to go back to regular televisions. The games look much sharper, the colors pop out even more with darker blacks and deeper reds. This TV really made me understand why top-of-the-line televisions are worth it. And when you combine them with a Gobi TV light strip, it just adds to the immersion. Now, of course, consoles is tied up there with the TV and what's one of the things that's most important for a game room, and we have a few here. First is the Nintendo Switch OLED edition, the same Steam Deck that I had in the arcade 1-up. I can move over here to its charging station. To the right of it, we have a Wii U that hasn't seen too much gameplay in recent times, and of course the PlayStation 5 Pro. In the bottom, we have two subwoofers connected to the receiver alongside 5 Onkyo speakers. We have a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 3 in this side, an Xbox One and an Xbox 360 with some accessories in the top. Here is the receiver that has all the systems and the speakers connected to it. This setup works tremendously well with its ease of access to all these consoles in a simple click of a button. This is definitely the part of the game room that gets the most amount of attention. It's a place that I come to disconnect, and I can't be grateful enough for this setup. Let me show you guys a little bit of gameplay so you can know exactly what I mean. To this side of the room, I have a reclining sofa that I got in the marketplace for half the price. I think they usually retail for around $1,500, and I got this one for just $300 or $400. What makes this sofa so unique is that it is so comfortable and so unique looking with multiple cup holders that honestly I couldn't think of a better way to consume content. To both sides of the sofa, I have two black nightstands that help me organize a few extra items. And to be honest, I try to keep the room as symmetrical as could be. So here I have the Wi-Fi point alongside a PlayStation logo with some pops and just some useful items that I have. To this middle part Here we have a bunch of my favorite handhelds, which are a little disorganized at the moment. And lastly, we have my Logitech gaming wheel. To the right hand side of the room, we got this cool Mario poster, and this is where I keep most of my controllers. So you can see a selection of them here, as well as pretty much this whole nightstand has just controllers and useful items that I use. We also have my Oculus Quest here, which I definitely do not use as much as I intended to when I first got it, but I have it there for those times that I want to play some VR games or watch some content. So that's most of the stuff I have on this side of the room, and behind that left nightstand I do have all the chargers I would need for any of my devices, so I keep those in hand at all times. To the right portion of the game room, I have this other bookshelf and what I consider to be a retro portion of the room. At least that's what I made it out to be. I have most of my handheld games in this section, as well as my Xbox 360 collection and my Wii U and Wii collection. Starting from the top, we have Baby Yoda, Messy Pop, and the Mandalorian helmet. We have what I consider to be one of the most important handhelds, and that's the 3DS. We have a pretty good selection of games here, all the way from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon to Pokemon Black and White. I would say my Pokemon collection is pretty good. I'm missing only the few games, but I'm always looking at increasing my 3DS collections because I think it's such a unique handheld, being able to play all these games in 3D. Here we have a few of my Pokemon Game Boy Advance games, which I got these custom cases for them in Etsy, and I think they add a tremendous value and protection to those Game Boy games. As you may know, those original cases are hard to come by and very expensive. To the bottom of my 3DS collection, we have my Switch collection, which is dear to my heart as well. Been trying to collect for the Switch as much as I can whenever I can. I don't typically game on the Switch as much anymore, and that's usually because I'm gaming on the PS5, but I'm trying to collect most of the first party Switch titles. Moving on, we have what I consider to be my favorite gaming handheld of all time, and that's the PSP. We have a pretty short selection of games here. This is probably my most heartfelt selection of games, and it's because I grew up on the PSP, so all of these games hit close to home. Beneath that, we have my Xbox 360 collection, and I would consider that to be probably the least amount of playtime that I give to any console, and that's just because I'm typically gaming on a PlayStation system, but that does not mean I love the Xbox any less. I think all the games there hold their value, and the Xbox 360 era was as important as any other. Under that, we have a selection of GameCube games, some Wii U games, and some Wii games I have, and my original Xbox, which original Xbox I love. That's probably more played than the Xbox 360, especially that Pirates of the Caribbean game. But just this whole bookshelf just means a lot to me, as well as the whole game room, of course. But just thought I'd focus in on that. To this right hand side of the room, as you come in through the door, we have what I consider the retro section of the room. And by retro, I mean I tried this little space to be a kind of 2005 and prior vibe, where you can come and sit on the floor and just play your classic PS2 or original Xbox games. If I had a bigger room, I would definitely want this portion of it to be a little more focused on that 2000s aesthetic, but this is what we'll do for now. I'm definitely not using it as much as I would like, but I consider it to be a very important touch to the game room. Lastly, I want to show you guys the ceiling of my game room. I went ahead and stapled a bunch of cotton balls together and set them in the pattern of clouds, and below that, before I stapled the cotton, I put in some LED lights, and that is all controlled by Google. So whenever I want a specific color or pattern, I usually just put it through here, either through the app or through the Google device. I think everybody that comes into the game room, this is one of the first things that they notice, and they always ask me how I did it. So I think this is definitely a good touch to have in anybody's game room. If you guys have made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys liked about my game room, what you didn't like, what you would replace, any recommendations you may have. Let me know through there and I'll take it into consideration. Needless to say, how much a like or a subscribe will help out my channel, so go ahead and do that if you would like. I will try to have more videos up for you in the channel soon. I just gotta get back into the rhythm of things. Regardless, thank you guys for watching.